I wanted to give my opinion on this Pathfinder, I think I call it a jungle hammock setup here. I've got it set up out here in my woods next to my Eno rig. It's pretty much stays up year round. This thing's been in the woods for much of the last 10 years. I ordered this in the spring. This hammock and tarp have been set up here in my woods for at least 90 days. Got a couple of nights in it, and then many evenings just hanging out in there during the summer months. See, I've got a guide out there a little bit with a stick. The tarp has loosened off a little bit, but I will say my prussics are on my ridgeline are kind of at capacity here, so it's fine. It's drizzling right now. That's why I came out here. I usually get in the hammock when it starts raining. I just run out there and get in the hammock. I like to hang out in the hammock whenever we've got inclement weather, and I don't stay overnight in the summer months with all the bugs. I'm more of a cool weather, cold weather hammock guy. So I'll tell you my opinion. I paid about $138 for this delivered, and I think the tarp's worth $100 myself. Pretty decent hammock. It's not quite a double nest, but it's not a single nest either. So it's a little bit bigger than your standard single nest type hammock, and it's a little bit smaller than your like an Eno double nest or something like that. Came with a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go over everything that it came with. I mean, you know, it came with the straps, kind of the Atlas type straps, which are fine by me. When I hike in and hammock overnight, I'm more of a 1.5 mile in guy, and I'm done. So no big overnight deals for me. No big long treks. Beautiful tree right here. Got it hung from. God's creation there. Not a fan of the huge logo on it. I understand it. And by the way, I got a lot of Pathfinder stuff, and they are great. Some cook kits, a couple of bottles, a couple of knives from them. They're Jeff White knives that I got from them. I've got cordage from them, straps, fire starting items. I love the Pathfinder school. Dave Canterbury, I learned a lot from him. The logo is a little bright for me. I'm more of a drab. No blue or red or purple hammocks for me. It's all drab and black. Walk around and give you guys another little look from this side. And bug net is okay. I'm just not a fan of bug nets. You know, you guys who camp with bug nets, and I know there are better hammocks and more expensive hammocks where you can tie them out. That's just not my style. Just not my style. Most of mine is in the fall, winter, or early spring is when I'm sleeping in my hammock overnight. So bundled up. That's how I prefer. In the summertime, I have other things going on. Another thing I don't like about having a bug net on your hammock is you're missing that, excuse the camera work there. This one here, I run this is just an old Eno I've had for years, and you say what you want about Eno, but for what I do, it serves a purpose. Got a Wise Owl on there. I like Wise Owl stuff's pretty good. Wise Owl's not a bad little underquilt. I rate this at 40 degrees. I slept in it at 35 and was pretty cold actually. So it's more like a 45 degree. But anyway, back to the bug net. I'm not a super fan of it. I like that whoopee sling, they call them, or that sling across the top that gives you the bow that you want for your hammock to lay in. I like a pretty good curve in mine to lay sideways as much as I can. And you don't have that luxury with one with a bug net. So you're kind of at the mercy of what trees you pick and that kind of thing. And I've got a decent lay right there. It's not quite didn't quite have the swale that I really prefer, but I'll tell you, 2 thumbs up, especially for the price on the Pathfinder jungle hammock setup, and a really good tarp. The tarp's not as big. I like a 10. I have a 10 by 10 DD tarp. I really like. I've got an AquaQuest tarp. That's a 10 by 10. That's a little more heavy duty. I don't use it much. More like a 10 out here if I want to do that. But you know, you guys, you know what you get with it. You get the Atlas type straps. Comes with the carabiners, of course. You've got your bug net with zippers on one side, a stuffed sack, got some tent stakes, and then your tarp and some extra cordage as well. Just got those Prusik Dawn with a. Let me go back over here for. That's kind of how I do it. No fancy carabiners or anything. I just stick up off the floor of the woods and roll with it. But you can see it kind of sagging there. I mean, this thing's been through several storms. It's been out for a while. A couple of nights in it, and hours and hours and hours of just hanging out in the evenings. I got me some. Put a Prusik on my bank line there. Bank line and hammock go hand in hand. Paracord's great. Use a lot of bank line when I'm out and about. It's got a bank line Prusik right there, and I found a couple of little carabiners at the dollar store. It kind of keeps this net spread out a little bit. But you get it when you lay in a bug net that's not guyed out. It kind of rolls back on you and wraps around your shoulders, that kind of thing. It gets over in your face even. And I know there's better ones out there, but I'll tell you, for $138 delivered, like I said, this tarp will go with me, even if the hammock doesn't. I'd say 2 thumbs up. Get yourself a Pathfinder hammock. It's really nice. Pathfinder school's got a lot of cool stuff, lots of cool stuff. So there we go. Let me just back up and show you my other setup here. You can see I'm missing some of the hardware. This Eno Pro Fly, dang, it's just a tank. I'll bet you this thing's been hanging out here for 6 months this time. It's been 6 months every year out in the woods, and usually in the Eno hammock. I am getting some little holes in my hammock. I'm sure I'll bust through it at some point and get another one. You know, I know there's a lot of lighter weight stuff, but I'm essentially in my backyard. I mean, the recliner that I set in and will watch TV or videos or whatever is maybe 60, 70 feet over my left shoulder here. So this is essentially my backyard. I'm very blessed to live here, by the way, and thankful. But anyway, videos about the Pathfinder jungle hammock with the bug net and the tarp, and then the extra cordage, and the tent stakes, and the Atlas straps, and 2 thumbs up, especially for the price. Especially for the price. I wish you had blacked that out, or just maybe a darker green on it. Keep that low profile look in the woods, eh? Anyway, there, look at that mess. Look at that mess. But it is what it is. It's held up great. It's pretty high. I'm not really textbook, man. I just, whatever it takes to get the lay that I want is where I'm at. The lay in the hammock there. And again, no, bug net. You got the ridge line holding up your net, kind of supporting your tarp a little bit, but nothing in here to affect